Hey guys, welcome back to Epic Glow's channel. Ryan Garcia targets Gervonta Davis rematch after Devin Haney upset. So Ryan Garcia has welcomed a rematch with Gervonta Davis, the only man to beat him as a professional, after seeing off Devin Haney. In one of boxing's biggest shocks in recent years, Garcia dropped Haney 3 times en route to a decision victory on Saturday. With the result, the 25-year-old handed Haney, also 25, the first loss of his pro career. However, Garcia didn't take the WBC super lightweight title from his fellow American, having missed weight by 3 pounds on Friday. Looking ahead to his bout, which many fans believe should be a rematch with Haney, Garcia has already mentioned Namero's potential opponents, including Conor Ben, Errol Spence Jr. and UFC champion Sean O'Malley. Now, Tough KingRy has called out Davis, 1 year after a stoppage loss to Gervonta Davis. "Everyone wanna talk about the little stupid Gervonta Davis," Garcia said. "Let's fight, enough of that funny talk. Come see me at 144 pounds and let's stop the talk." Davis, 29, dropped Garcia twice in their fight in April 2023, with the later knockdown coming courtesy of a body shot that ended the bout in round 7. The unbeaten Davis is now set to face Martin, also undefeated, on 15th June. "If you beat Frank, let's run it, Gervonta," Garcia added in another tweet. "I won't throw my left hook." Ryan Garcia wants Gervonta Davis rematch, but without rehydration clause. It was the same reoccurring dream for Ryan Garcia. Whenever he lay his head at night and tucked himself in, Garcia saw the carcass of Gervonta Davis lying at his feet. His tattooed body remained motionless as a roaring crowd stood on its feet, half applauding Garcia while the other half placed their hands over their mouth in disbelief. Sure, it was only a dream, but Garcia believed it was more than just that. The 25-year-old was convinced that it was a premonition, a sign of what was to come. For years, Garcia did his best to poke the bear. He continually called Davis out and would not let up until he was finally given his wish. Davis, by and large, wasn't interested in facing him. He claimed that Garcia was nothing more than a baby and not worthy of his time. But as the trash talk got louder and bolder, Davis took him up on his offer. Davis, by and large, wasn't interested in facing him. However, in order to seal the deal during contract negotiations, Garcia agreed to fight Davis at a catchweight of 136 pounds. He also signed off on a 10-pound rehydration clause. The California native believed that it was all inauspicious icing. It wasn't what he wanted, but in order to get Davis to fight him, Garcia was willing to do just about nothing. As he looks back on his decision, he regrets not holding his ground and demanding that Team Davis remove certain terms from their deal. Losing is something that Garcia is trying to get accustomed to. Even with the 7th round stoppage loss now settled to his record, he is not willing to say that the Baltimore native is a better fighter than he is. "I feel like, under different circumstances, I could beat him," Garcia told a group of reporters. Garcia has not said much since his defeat. Simply put, he didn't want to take away from Davis' moment. For now, the popular star is focusing on his comeback. Gervonta Davis opened to Ryan Garcia at 140 pounds rematch outlines rehydration stipulation. That's the weight class that he fights at. Gervonta Davis has addressed the potential rematch against Ryan Garcia and revealed his possible stipulations for it. The first encounter between their archrivals took place in April 2023. It witnessed Davis win via 7th round KO, thereby handing Garcia the first defeat of his professional boxing career. The grudge match, which was contested at a catchweight of 136 pounds, had a 10-pound rehydration clause at play. In the ensuing month, KingRy has consistently maintained that the clause prevented him from efficiently rehydrating, adding that it adversely affected his body and performance against Gervonta Davis. Davis has never competed since, whereas Garcia has fought twice. KingRy returned to the win column to win an 8-round KO victory over Oscar Duarte and then over Devin Haney. Garcia is fresh off a majority decision victory over Devin Haney in their WBC super lightweight junior welterweight title showdown on April 20. However, since KingRy missed weight by 3.2 pounds, Haney retained the WBC super lightweight title. Garcia has often asserted that he would fight Davis again, provided their rematch is at a higher weight class and without a rehydration clause. Garcia's next opponent and the comeback date haven't been officially announced yet. On the other hand, Davis is scheduled to defend his WBA lightweight title against Frank Martin on June 15th. In a recent conversation with US News, Davis noted that he is willing to fight Ryan Garcia. Nevertheless, Tank suggested that their rematch would have to be contested at 140 pounds and with a rehydration clause. Davis said, "Yeah, but not 143. Why 43? Probably 40. That's the weight class up from 35. That's the weight class that he fight at. So let's do 33. I mean 40. And he can hydrate back up to 15. You feel me? Or at most 52 or something like that," Davis said. Ryan Garcia on potential facing Gervonta Davis in a rematch. Ryan Garcia's victory over Devin Haney is under investigation because Garcia reportedly tested positive. Meanwhile, KingRy has claimed he will be moving up in weight. Besides, on the PBD podcast a few days back, Garcia revisited his defeat against Gervonta Davis. KingRy reiterated that the weight cut and rehydration clause significantly weakened him. Furthermore, Garcia emphasized that Haney was the better opponent, giving him a tougher fight. He underscored that the loss against Tank was because his body was weak. Garcia warned that he would beat Davis in their rematch wars, then he defeated Haney. In addition, KingRy believed that Haney too would defeat Tank if they were to clash. Regarding a rematch against Davis, Garcia said, "Tank has fought at 140 pounds before. We can meet at 144. Simple. If he wants to make a lot of money, we could do it. If not, I don't need him. I'm making a lot of money regardless. I could retire tomorrow," Ryan Garcia said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.